So the ramifications of the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, if of course it sticks, and if, there's still a chance it may not. But what's happening right now is conservatives around the country are already saying, okay, if we can just overturn Supreme Court cases, I've got one that I would like to bring to the Supreme Court to get overturned. Because now that there's basically not a stare decisis, hey, no court precedent, we can challenge and overturn anything we want. And Republican Governor Greg Abbott from the state of Texas has already singled out which specific Supreme Court case he wants to have overturned. And it just so happens to be a decision from the early 1980s that says that every American, including undocumented immigrants in the United States of America, are entitled to a free public education. Abbott wants that overturned. Because, he swears up and down that, hey, this is putting a huge burden on the state of Texas. We've got so many undocumented kids here, and they're just coming and they're getting this free education, and we're having to pay for it. It's ridiculous, right? Well, not exactly. Because, see, even if undocumented immigrants are in the state of Texas, if they are working, they are paying taxes. If they are living somewhere, they are paying taxes. If they are buying anything in the state of Texas, they are paying taxes, and taxes for the state go to fund the state's public education program. So no, they're not mooching off of you, you moron. But I know you're not going to explain that to your constituents. But you know the truth. You know that if they are making money and, of course, spending money, more importantly, in Texas, they're paying taxes, which really should allow their kids to go to school. And, of course, that was some of the rationale behind the Supreme Court decision. But the Supreme Court decision, as I said, did not only affect undocumented children here in the United States. It affected all children. Everybody. This is the court case that guaranteed you a right to a free public education. And if Abbott takes this to the Supreme Court, gets it overturned, guess what? The government's no longer on the hook to provide public education. And of course, as we all know, that's what Republicans have been wanting for a very long time now. That's what these attacks, the critical race theory attacks and all of that, the Don't Say Gay bill, all of it is just an attack on education, as well as also attacking marginalized people here in the United States just to single them out as enemies. But the overall theme is that public education is terrible and we don't want it anymore. And of course, not everybody can afford to send their kids to private school. Hell, most people cannot afford to send their kids to private school. We depend on that free public education that is guaranteed to every single person in this country. And Republicans now want to do away with it just because they have a grudge against undocumented children. That's what Abbott is doing. And of course, as I said, he mentioned that this week during an interview. He wants to get that case back up there. They're still deciding on how best to do it. And it's all because now they've been given the signal that Supreme Court precedent no longer matters. Thanks for watching, and if you like what you saw, don't forget to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our Ring of Fire channel here.